Hello, CQ. Hello, CQ. CQ, the old Friends Net. Of the old friends get together. This is W4MEC, your net control for today. The old Friends Net meets 3 times a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. That's right, yeah. Sundays at 4 p.m. The old Friends Net is amplitude modulation mode only. And where we do focus on vintage gear. Anybody that can generate an AM signal is welcome to join us. Let's see, it's a great place to swap gear. Look for some information about something you're working on. So I'll take check-ins a couple times throughout the net, and we'll get it going now. So those wishing to participate, please give W4MEC a call. Come on.
Good morning, Charlie. WA4LLR.
N4LQ.
WB4ARK.
KN4R.
K3OS.
Okay. We got 6 of us so far. Let's see, I got Dave, WA4LLR, Steve, N4LQ, and judging by the signal level this morning, and I think it's George, K4GDN, was just a hair above Buddy, WB4ARK, and then Brian, KN4R, and Gary, K3OS. Any furthest round off? Yeah, well, maybe they'll wake up like me, so let's see. Alrighty, fellas, good morning. I'm going to call this the CW edition of the Old Friends Net because it is cold and windy out there. And the first thing I did was go see if my antenna was still up in the air and plugged in, and it was, amazingly, and it was still plugged in. So when I say plugged in, I'm going to use an AC line cord, a female jack and a male plug on my window line about 10 feet from the house, and I just plug them together. And I have had the wind unplug them. And the other thing is they've saved me because I've had stuff fall out of trees and hit my window line and unplug them and not pull my antenna down or rip the side out of my house. So anyway, let's get started with Dave. WA4LLR in the group, W4MEC.
W4MEC and the old friends, WA4LLR. Well, that's kind of an interesting arrangement, Charlie. You got a quick disconnect with an AC plug for your antenna connection. But that would certainly be a stress relief because that would be a lot easier unplugged by force than a coaxial or screw terminals. Anyway, let's see here. 19 degrees, breezy, mostly cloudy. A few snow flares around. We've got close to an inch of snow, I guess, somewhere in that ballpark. But so far, signals are good, and it's a good morning to sit by the fire and have lots of tubes to help keep you warm. So, Steve, good to see you briefly on 160 last night. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Yeah, it was good to see you, Dave. And you did sound good on that TS2000. The band's in good shape here lately. Lack of QR Nancy has helped us out. And Charlie, fine on the CW edition. It took me a second to figure that out until you explained cold and wind. Well, we've got snow coming Friday, according to the prognosticators, 4 inches due here. I don't know what the rest of you guys are showing there, but I was kind of surprised, and I wonder if it'll actually happen. But see, high of 33 on Friday and low of 27, and then back up to 41 on Saturday. So it won't stick very long, but it may be here. I'm running the AF-68 and the HQ 140X combo. So over to you, George. K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ and the old friends, K4GDN. And it was about 32 when I got up this morning at 7. And it was just under 40 here in the shack. I've got the electric heater running. And I agree with Charlie about the CW. Although it's not windy here, it's clear. We had a little bit of rain yesterday, but not very much. Not what they predicted, but they're saying we're going to get more on Friday and Saturday, excuse me. But at most, it might be a little bit of sleet, but I doubt if it'll be that much because it's not going to be cold out here. Anyway, I'm running the Ranger 2. I put about 10 watts into the homebrew 811, getting out just under 200 watts. I'm on the in-fed dipole. And listening on an HQ 178 this morning. And the band seems to be a bit noisy, but I'm copying everybody's line. So with that, we'll pass it on to Buddy. WB4ARK in the group K4GDN.
Okay, N4LQ, WB4ARK. Well, I'm having a transfer issue today, transferring between the transmit antenna and the transmitter and the receiver. I'm having to do that manually. I'm on the 32V3 this morning, running about 100 watts out to the antenna, and I'm on 3715.2. We had a little bit of rain overnight, 0.28 inches, and it looks like there could have been a little bit of sleet or maybe snow mixed in with it. It was on the ground, on the driveway, and it's clear today, no wind, clear as it can be. So we're looking forward to this inclement weather that's coming on Friday. That's going to be nice. We haven't had any snow weather here to speak of in several years, so I hope we get some this time. Well, let's see. Yeah, it took a little bit to get the 32V hooked up. I had to use a manual transfer switch because I don't have an automatic one. All the automatic ones are tied up with other equipment. So we had to go with a single switch. And so I guess that's about it. I believe that it goes to Brian. So over to KN4R, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, WB4ARK. and the old friends, it's Brian, KN4R, Cheryl's Ford, where it's clear and not a leaf is stirring down here, 26 degrees. So nice blue sky at the moment. So anyway, glad to be in the shack again today and actually making some progress. I'm using the Globe Champ here and listening on the Australian HRO, and it's this is the first time I've used it seriously for a net, and it has a generic milliamp meter, and it probably has been replaced, my guess. But anyway, it's nice to see it bouncing. So far, Dave and Buddy are making it bounce the most, but that's not to say other people can't make it bounce either. So anyway, I'm fingers crossed on the inclement weather, since I don't have to get out, and it would be nice to see a little snow, and great for the kids and grandkids, and that way it could all go away over the weekend, and they'd be back to school too. So anyway, over to you, Gary. K3OS in the group, KN4R.
Hey, Brian. KN4R, K3OS. I don't know what's going on here. It's working. Knobs are just in a little bit different spot, and my auto tuner gave me fits this morning, but so maybe something has happened in the cold weather. Well, I'm looking at things, and it looks like there's modulation, and that's a good thing. All right, well, we'll hold to that one. So, running the Kenwood twins into the solid-state amp, about 100 watts. But my output power seems to be fluctuating a little bit here, which is really rare. But anyway, could be a pot. This pot issue is driving me crazy. I probably need a new pot in the drive control. I think somebody substituted it years ago, and it was a piece of junk. Anyway, 27 degrees here in Hickory. Looking at bright blue sky. You know, everybody's starting to talk about this weather, and you know, it's only Tuesday. I've learned not to trust these longer range forecasts. Although if they hold true over a period of you know, 2 or 3 days, you know, you start to tend to believe them. But you know, if that becomes a moving target, then you never know what's going to happen. Meanwhile, you know, the world is getting ready to shut down here. So what can I tell you? Let's see. Back to Charlie. Yeah. W4MEC in the group, K3OS.
Okay, Gary, very good, K3OS. W4MEC. Do we have anybody that would like to join us? Give me a call.
WA4EVK.
Okay, we got Boone. Anybody else?
W9IXX is listening.
Was that a distant station, or was that somebody trying to check in?
That was Phil, W9IXX.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the list, Phil, but I can't hear you. I thought you were on sideband and really weak, so... we got K3OS, and then Boone, WA4EVK, and then Phil, W9IXX. Wonder if the wind got one of his antennas again. So go ahead, Boone, make a transmission, turn it over to Phil, and Phil, turn it over to me. WA4EVK, W4MEC.
Good morning to everybody. Nice and chilly here in about 31 degrees, looks like. Not too much going on. Still working on some equipment, trying to get it ready for the summer. Actually working on some 6-meter equipment, which around with this sunspot cycle, you never know when you get an opening. And it's usually, as my neighbor Glenn will tell you, it's usually a busy time right in there, as most DX like that is. And with that, I'm going to send it on down to Phil. W9IXX, WA4EVK.
Group W9IXX, this is the copy. This is going to be very temporary, and I'll be listening. But, boy, great to hear everybody this morning that I can. We're all doing pretty good. CSB. Anyway, I'll send it back to you, Charlie, and I'll just be listening here. I'll just be listening. W4MEC in the group, W9IXX.
Okay, Phil, W9IXX in the group, W4MEC. It helped quite a bit when I turned my RF and IF gains up. My IF gain was at 0, and RF gain was about 10 o'clock, so everybody else is coming in so loud I didn't need much, but brought it up, and you're a good solid Q5 now. So any further check-ins for Old Friends Net? Come now. Nothing heard. We'll go on in W4MEC and the Old Friends. All right, real good. I haven't checked the weather to see if we're going to get anything like snow or whatever. We had some flurries last night, but that was all it was. It didn't even stick. So, I don't know if they were predicting ice storms. I wasn't too concerned because due to Helene, pretty much everything that would break out of a tree due to ice has probably broke out of the tree already. So I wasn't too sweating that one too much. But we didn't get it. It sounded like a little sleet when it started raining, but then it changed to rain, so nothing to worry about there. So other than the wind last night, that's scary where I'm located. With the number of trees I have around here, yeah, we made it okay. As long as it I don't know, if it comes from the west, the ridge blocks it. If it comes from the, correction, if it comes from the east, the ridge blocks it. And if it comes from the west, all the dangerous trees would fall away in the other direction, so not worried about that. But I think it was all over yesterday, so all directions it seemed like. So, but we made it, and that's good. Let's see what else we got here. I got my 2 power supplies done. I had to fix for other folks, and I got one more to build for TCS, for a receiver for a fellow. But I'm going to make a cable up today and plug the TCS in and just power it off of bench supplies and make sure that darn thing works before I go building a power supply for it. It's got all 6-volt tubes in it, or I can just hook it up to my TCS power supply and see if it works, but I can't do that. So and hopefully with the cable and the bench supplies, I'll see if it's supposed to be a good working receiver, but we'll find out. So, all right, let's go around again. W4MEC.
W4MEC, WA4LLR. Well, good morning to Boone and to Phil. Everybody's doing a good job up here today, coming through the icy cold wind. I'm blowing the Babcock and the HQ-150. Let's see. George, the Ranger 2 sounds good. Doing a good job, and Buddy, the 32 V3. Brian, since the hum is gone, that Globe Champ sounds top shelf. Doing a super job. Let's see, what's going on today? Not a whole lot. I got a doctor's appointment at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Other than that, don't particularly want to stick my head out. But I guess we'll have to. Yeah, I'm surprised that we're the only one that evidently got any measurable snow. As high as the wind was, I'm surprised there's any left. But I guess we got close to an inch. Just enough to make things white. Not a whole lot of other things going on. Let's see, in space weather, it's fairly calm right now. Sunspot count's 154. Solar flux index is 172, and the K is 2.67. A few items from this day in history. On this day in 1610, Galileo discovered the 4 brighter moons of Jupiter. On this day in 1968, Surveyor 7, the unmanned probe, made a soft landing on the moon. On this day in 1953, President Truman announced the U.S. had developed the hydrogen bomb. On this day in 1927, the Harlem Globetrotters played their first game. On this day in 1999, President Clinton's impeachment trial began. And here's one that's kind of humorous. On this day in 1785, two explorers made it across the English Channel in a balloon. A Frenchman and an American traveled from Dover, England, to Calais in France, becoming the first to cross the English Channel by air. And this is kind of the humorous part. It said they nearly crashed into the channel along the way as the balloon was weighted down by extraneous supplies such as anchors, a non-functional hand-operated propeller, and silk-covered oars with which they hoped they could row their way through the air. Just before reaching the French coast, the two balloonists were forced to throw nearly everything out of the balloon, and the Frenchman even threw his trousers over the side in an attempt to lighten the ship, but they did make it. Anyway, down to you, Steve, N4LQ, WA4LL.
I was wondering if the Frenchman threw maybe the Englishman threw the British guy over. I don't know. The Frenchman over. Anchors in a balloon. Now there's one for you. This is N4LQ. I've been notified that our garbage pickup will be 4 hours late today. Now, I have gotten a text message from them, I have gotten an email, and I just got a phone call from the Republic Services. So, boy, they are thorough. I've got an idea that I kind of hatched, and I'd like to float it around about an old friend's boat anchor CW net. An old friend's CW boat anchor net. Think about that. Slow speed, 15 words per minute, top end, straight key, chirpy, old boat anchors net. And if anybody's interested, I'd like to hear your comments on that, because I'm sure you guys have all been able to copy CW at one time or another. So, look around the shack, see what you got that'll put out some CW, see if you need a VFO, see if you've got one, and maybe put something together, see if we can do that. We could do it on 80 meters. We could do it on the top end of 80, like right below 3600. We could do it on 3715 legally. So I don't know how that would go over, but we could do that, make it easy. So just think it over and let me know your thoughts, and I'll put something out here on the reflector about it, see if anybody has any interest in that. Over to you, George. And by the way, we'll say this, Brian, your champ does sound good this morning. And Phil, I heard you. You are kind of weak, but we copied you okay. But you're not up to your normal self there. K4 GDN N4LQ.
N4LQ, K4 GDN, and I'd be up for a real slow speed CW net. As a matter of fact, that was something that the old friends were doing 30 years ago, and one of the things that got it kind of started was everybody's supposed to build a one-tube transmitter, and I have Lee K4BWD's one-tube transmitter here. That's the one I run when I'm running 5 watts. And it was originally built for CW only. I'm the one that got into it and hooked up a modulator. And by the way, on the Ranger 2 this morning, I'm running crystal control. And the crystal is marked 3715, and it seems to be doing that here in the Ranger 2 okay. But this is a crystal that Fritz used to use in his Viking 2, which I have. And when the crystal is in the Viking 2, it seems to run at 3716, which I thought was a little bit strange, but it used to be the case with Fritz, and it would run a little bit on the high side, close to 3716, even though this is a sealed crystal and it's marked 3715. So anybody's got something that's really accurate can read my frequency about half an hour or the next time around. And Phil, I copied probably 75% of your transmission. I'm having a little bit of QR in from some sideband. I don't really know whether they're above or below us. I haven't tuned off to see, but maybe they're splattering a bit. But anyway, that's kind of been on to get off again. And there's a little bit of QSB. And when I first got out here this morning, I had about an S6 noise level, but I'm copying everybody pretty much okay. So I don't know. Maybe it's the beach. But we're like I say, we're in the I guess in the mid to upper 30s by now, and they're saying we might get a little bit more precipitation, but it's probably going to be nothing. At the most, it might be a little bit of sleet, but I doubt it. Anyway, with that, I'm going to pass it on to Buddy. WB4 ARK in the group, K4GDN.
K4GDN, WB4 ARK. Okay, George. Still running 3715.2. Oscillator seems to be pretty stable in this 32V, although it hasn't been on in a year. Well, yeah, that on this, the 7th of January. Well, let's see what else we got. Yeah, we're receiving on the R390A, and we got KWM2's finished and out the door, back to the owner. So we're in good shape there. Well, it took a while to get those going. Had some serious issues with one of them. And then another issue developed with the other one. So, Phil, I can receive your signal here in Lake Wylie with no problem. And the band is extremely quiet today. Just no noise at all. Let's see what else we have. Well, I'll tell you what, it's pretty chilly out there. 22 to 23 degrees, and it's not budging much. So we'll see what the rest of this day brings forth as far as the temperature is concerned. We went up to 44 yesterday, but it may stay a little colder today. And with this lack of cloud cover, it probably will stay in the so I guess with that we'll turn it over to KN4R, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. Very good. WB4ARK in the group, KN4R. Well, first of all, Steve, N4LQ is to thanks for fixing the hum on this transmitter. And the nice thing is I'm on crystal here on 3715 or thereabouts. And to get on 3885, which is the other frequency I use this thing on, I just switched to VFO. So, and it's working well enough to do that. So I'm in high cotton. And as far, oh, and by the way, I don't want to give Phil a complex. I'm copying him Q5 here. He sounds just fine. So I think the band's just a little long, quote unquote. But glad to have you in here, Phil. And Steve, that's a great idea for the Old Friends boat anchor net. 15 words a minute sounded a little fast, but maybe we start off a little slower. But okay, I'm all in for that. That would be a great incentive for getting on CW and all that in a nice friendly environment. So let's see what else we got here. Everybody's signal sounds just great today. Let's see, hold on. Steve, one question on your security camera. Can you watch that on, can anyone watch that on a web page, or do you have to use a special app? Just wondered, I was thinking about getting a camera for the view here, but I wouldn't want to have to run a special app for it necessarily. But I mean, I could do that, but I wouldn't want if you wanted to put it on your web page or something, have a link to click on it. That would be a lot easier. And Charlie, good luck on the TCS. Keep us informed on that. I need to get back on mine, but it's down at the garage and a little chilly down there, no heat. So let's keep it going. Gary and the Kenwood twins sound superb. So K3OS and the Old Friends. This is KN4R. Over.
Yeah, KN4R, K3OS. Yeah, what is my output power? Let's see here. Something's going nuts. That looks about right. Yeah, gotta watch the watt meter here. I think I got a squeaky a pot that needs replacing here, or I don't think I can spray this one. Anyway, everybody sounding good. Phil, good morning to you. I don't think we've talked. I'm Gary over in Hickory. And Steve, yeah, I'd be up for the CW thing. Although, a couple of these radios that, like these okay. Well, this is solid state. That's not fair. The tube rigs, like the Gonset and the multi Elmac, you wouldn't want to wear headphones with them. I'm telling you. The transient thump that comes back when you do transmit to receive, oh my gosh. So it would be speakers only, and probably have to get some spark suppression for the cathode keying, pitting on the bug and all that stuff, but could be done. Anyway, it'd be interesting to try. All right, let me pass it back. Everybody's sounding real good here, but yeah, that would be fun. Although you had a bunch of people, it would probably take depending on the comments, it would take a while to go through the net. I used to do traffic handling as a kid, and I really enjoyed that. Oh, let's see. Over to Boone, WA4EVK, K3OS.
K3OS and the group, WA4EVK. Well, I'm not sure what I could run for the CW. I guarantee there's something out there in that pile of junk. Said junk is gotta shrink sometime. Running out of room again. The morning, it looks like it's going to be nice and sunny and clear here in Pickens. I believe it's going to warm up to a little bit more than what they were calling for, which was in the mid-40s. We'll see. Hopefully so. But I'm going to have to duck out of here. I'm going to have to make this my final and say 73s and get going to an appointment. You wouldn't think anything in Pickens would be that far away, but you seldom can get anything done in Pickens. You got to go to big city. And I'm sure you guys up north of me have the same problem. Anyway, we say 73s, and you guys that are going to get on the 160 net tonight will. Oh nope, sorry, Charlie. I'll be around tonight if you're going to be for the 6 meter. You might comment. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Phil. W9IXX to take it WA4EVK.
Hey, fine business, Boone. This is W9IXX over here in Green Creek, North Carolina. And yeah, I'll do it real quick here. I didn't even think I was going to get out at all, so I'll hold it kind of short here. Just a couple comments quick. Thanks for all the reports. Appreciate that. I'm just using my, I've got a Icon Pro 3 here that I'm using, the 756 Pro 3. And I don't know, running 5,000 watts or something. I don't know what it is. Anyway, yeah, 50 watts, 50 watts, 25 watts, something like that. And the antenna is up.
23 AMA,
Back up, but it's only up 10 feet off the ground. So hopefully I'll do pretty good so I can get the other ground back. Also, interesting you're talking about the CW go around with rigs. I don't know, just as you were saying that, I went and checked I got a box here of 100 T8 tubes. Oh, there must be, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them in there. And see everything to make a 1G transmitter with those, I think. And I'll donate them if anybody wants to try it. And I may have more here somewhere. So, but they're 100 THs. And something to think about. And I've got some old hand keys here and all that kind of stuff. That would bring back some memories. And my first rig was a AT1 Heathkit and an AR2 receiver. And that was my first, when I first got it, my license back in 54. 1954, not 1854. So coming back to you, Charlie, W4MEC. I'm going to kind of half check out here. I'll have it on, but I got things to do here. I got to go to tennis here at about 11. So we'll talk at you all later. W4MEC in the group, W9IXX. Very good morning. Thanks, guys.
Very good, Phil. W9IXX, the old friends. W4MEC. Any further check-ins that would like to join us? Yeah, nothing heard. W4MEC and the old friends. I thought maybe John would jump in here at some point, but I guess not. All right, fellas, good round. George, I went and cranked up my gains here to see exactly what you were doing. You were 15 over S9, so the wintertime conditions are really helping you today up this way. So you've been running S9 and a little over here lately, so doing well. Let's see. All right, okay, Boone, I will attempt to make it tonight. My luck lately has not been good, but I will be out there and give you a call. We're on 50.4. Let's see what else. And I don't have a whole lot either. And it's been, George said it was 40 degrees in his shack. That's about what it is in mine. And run the electric heater. I can get it up to about 50, but I might have to just, if this keeps up, I'm going to have to start pushing stuff out of the way so I can put my kerosene heater back in service. That would make it toasty out there. So, but just need to get a couple of feet around it to be safe, and I don't have it, so we'll get it done. Get her done, as what's his name used to say. So. Let's see, and then with all that being done, I can actually finish my ART-13 power supply, buddy, and hook that up and get around my dynamotor issue. I was sitting here thinking I could maybe expedite it by opening my cable from the dynamotor to the ART-13 and separate out the 28-volt line that runs everything, and just run it to a separate 28-volt supply for the time being and let the big supply run the dynamotor. So I thought that would be a quick solution to the voltage sag problem, which I still don't quite understand, but with as much current as I've got in line, unless there is actually something wrong with that dynamotor. But I have no specs on what the parameters of the resistances of the stator and rotor and armature should be. So the thing looked brand new. You know how it is. You open up the bell ends and take a look at the brushes, and I mean, it looked like it might have run on a test bench to check it and then been boxed up to ship. So anyway, I thought that might be a quick solution to get around the sag problem, but I even haven't even had time to do that. So with so much going on around here. So anyway, let's get going again at least one more time. WA4LLR in the group, W4MEC.
Okay, W4MEC. Oh, good grief. Bentley's yelling upstairs. WA4LLR. 7.3 Boone, 7.3 Phil, and Phil, I'd be interested in a couple of those 100 TH tubes. I'd be interested to make a transmitter out of them, and I wouldn't mind to have a couple of spares for the modulators in this BC610. The problem I've had with 100 TH is if you find one that's been used, the filaments are so fragile that if you move them, they just break. But yeah, I'd love to get a hold of a couple of good ones. Steve, talking about the CW net, brother, it's been a long time since I ran 20 words a minute. Back when I got my extra, but that would be an incentive to get back at it, and I think that's a good idea, especially with a straight key. So yeah, it's something to think about for sure. All right, that's about it from here. Charlie, thanks for calling. I'll say 7-3. God bless everybody. Stay warm, and as the old saying is, keep the home fires burning. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Okay. Well, let's see. That's pretty much everybody except for Charlie and Boone. I don't think Boone had anything to say about it. CWNet, but anyway, you can email me or whatever, and look around the shack and try to figure out how you're going to change from transmit to receive, and how you're going to listen to yourself as you send CW, or maybe you'll just use your imagination. Don't know. Let's see, Brian, yes, the cameras can be configured for web usage, and I'm going to send you a link to their website. I'm not interested in doing it, but you could set it up so the whole world can look at it. But I've got an app on my phone and one here on the desktop. I just bring it up and look at it. I don't care for anybody else to see it. Let's see, and Phil, I would like to have 2 of those tubes, and also thought about, I love the looks of the 100 TH, if nothing else. They're just really cool looking tubes. I'd love to build a little CW transmitter out of it. I saw some plans a while back for one of those. So anyway, guys, tonight we'll be on 160, 1864 as always. And if your 6-meter thing doesn't pan out, come on down and join us. Charlie and Boone. And I guess that's about it, so I'll turn it over to George. I hope you're still copying over there on the beach. K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the groups, K4GDN. Yeah, copying everybody fine. And it turns out my background noise was my own making. For some reason, my quote-unquote fluorescent lights in the shack, which I think they're really LEDs, seem to have been making a lot of white noise, which I've never noticed before. And it was, like I say, it was white. Didn't really sound like LEDs. But when I turned them off, things got a lot better. And I'm copying everybody fine down here at the beach. And I'm good for the CW, I think. I haven't run it on any of the older rigs here, but I believe the Ranger, the way it's set up, when I go from CW to standby, the transfer relay would drop out. So the same setup I'm using right now ought to work. And I would definitely be doing it on a straight key, and it would kind of be slow. It's been a while since I've done any CW. It was when I took the 20 word a minute test, I was taking it with the idea that, well, if I didn't pass this one, I'll get it on 13. But it turns out I passed the 20. So, and that's been a while back, believe me. I don't know how long it's been since they discontinued the CW requirement, but I got it quite a few years ago. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say 73 on this one, and probably listen to the end of this. I don't think I'll make it in here on Thursday. I've got a doctor's appointment, but at about 9 o'clock, so I may not be able to get on then. So with that, let's see, it goes to Buddy. WB4ARK in the group, K4GDN, 73 guys.
K4GDN, WB4ARK. Okay, George. Well, I have some information, Charlie, on the dynamotor. I'll put it on the website if you're interested. I'm not sure exactly how much I have on the coils, but on the motor coils, but we have some test information on the output, but we'll check it out and see what we've got, and I'll put what I have on there if there's anything of interest. If not, I'll put that on there. Let's see what else we have today. I don't think I have anything else going on today, or anything else to talk about. You're gonna, on that dynamotor, you're gonna have a fairly high inrush current. It's going to be high. So you've got to have a circuit breaker on your power supply that will handle at least 100 amps momentarily. So anyway, that's the way I look at it. I'm not sure what kind of supply you're using or what it's rated at, but that's the deal there. I guess we'll say 73 from here, and thanks, Charlie, for calling the net, and we'll look forward to Thursday. We'll have the 32V back on Thursday. Probably not. But anyway, we will I can. It takes up space. I have to roll it into the radio room and hook everything up, and so it's a little bit challenging to get it all done. Well, with that, we'll say 73, and turn it over to Brian. Brian, you've got a very good signal into Lake Wiley today. KN4R, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. Very good. WB4ARK in the group, KN4R. Well, buddy, you've got a tremendous signal over here, so you sound just great. Everybody sounds great. And Steve, as far as the old friend CW boat anchor net, I think you don't have to use a boat anchor. You could use, Phil could use his 756 Pro 3 on CW. It doesn't matter, and that way everybody can play. And we might want to start on 3715 just because everybody's set up for that frequency. And as far as when, maybe right after the net, on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I don't know, but I wouldn't think that would cause anybody else any problems in terms of being on 3715. But anyway, just a thought. But I'm all in, and terrific on the 100 THs. Those are good tubes in demand. So, let's see. Steve, I won't be on 160 tonight because I play ping pong on Tuesday nights. But and the other thing is, while everybody's thinking about upgrading the shack and that kind of thing, if you have a 2-meter rig and antenna, see if you can hit Carl's repeater, which is 147.285. Of course, that's up 600. No tone. He has a tone, but he uses it, he says, 1% of the time, only when he gets, some scammers or something starting to use a repeater. So, in fact, what he recommended was to put it in twice in your radio, one with tone, one without, but to normally start with the without tone. So it makes it really, really simple, 147.285 plus 6, and, it gives us another thing to monitor from an old friend point of view. So anyway, just another thought. So I'll say 73s. Hope everybody has a great day in the shack, and it'll be interesting to see what the weather brings us later in the week. K3OS in the group, KN4R 73s.
Okay, Brian, KN4R, K3OS. All right, good all the way around. I don't know that I can hit Phil's repeater. I'll try it. I'm kind of below ground level here. I don't have a good VHF location. I've got a clear shot to the south, but if the repeater's up high enough. But aside from that, I run into trouble. But that's it. All right, I'll say 73s from now. Boone is out. I guess I'll turn it to Phil, and if Phil doesn't pick it up, then Charlie will. W9IXX, K3OS.
Yeah, Phil had to go to a dental appointment, which is what I did yesterday. So, the K3OS and the old friends group, W4MEC. Okay, fellas, real good. And boy, the motor draws 112 amp surge. I measured it with a meter. I had to do that. I have 125 amp power supply plus 2 car batteries. I recently increased my size of my wires from the power supply to the dynamotor to, I think it's number 4 stranded, almost a welding cable, but not quite flexible. And inside the dynamotor, they only use number 10 stranded, but, the lengths are only a couple of inches, 2, 3, 4 inches or something. So I think I got enough juice getting to it. The only question is my power supply, whether it's, they have a setting on those things for deliver voltage, deliver current, and there might be an issue with perhaps that particular setting, which I have no information on this power supply. I might have to find and make an adjustment on the current limiter. That could possibly be it, but I have not done that yet. But it's just enough to be concerning. The main issue being that the antenna relay drops out and then comes back in when I key it. So, it closes and then it drops out and then it closes again and then the power comes up. So I didn't want to stress that thing in any way with RF. So. Let's see. And everything is out there in my frozen garage, so I'm not real keen on working out there much until it warms up. All right, thanks for everybody that checked in. Another comment about Carl's repeater. It's at about a little more than 3,000. Antenna is a little more than 3,000 feet up on a mountain in Columbus. Brian is correct about the tone. It's number 1. The lowest tone is the frequency. And Carl also has a mode called no tone, and which means if you have the tone on and you can't bring the repeater up, turn off the tone, because it will if you have a carrier with a tone in it, it will not bring it up, or it might be it needs a tone. So the no tone mode really confuses a lot of people. They think the repeater's down, and as Brian pointed out, it's a method to keep CBers off of it. So if you got the tone on and you can't bring it up, be sure to take the tone off and double check. So let's see, that's about it for all of that. And you all have a good rest of the day here, and we'll look for you on Thursday morning, and hopefully I'll remember to give Boone a call tonight at 8 o'clock. And anybody else that's got 6 meter AM is welcome to join us. So 7-3 all, you have a good rest of the day. Try and stay warm and not blown over. It's W4MEC shutting down the old Friends.